what if you can't even do 5 minutes of walk without it feeling excessively tired or without having aches or pains? Then you can actually go to, you can back up a little bit. Instead of walking with full gravity on your body, you can go into a pool where you've got waist-high water. And you can start to do 5 minutes of walking in waist-high water. This is unloaded gravity or semi-anti-gravity in that water. If even that's bothering you, you should get an aqua jogger system that actually belts on. It's a floaty device that goes around your waist. Get in the deep end of the pool and start walking anti-gravity in the pool. Okay? Just about anybody can be able to do 5 minutes and progress to 10, 15, 20 anti-gravity. And then you can go to semi-gravity, which is where it's waist-high water without the aqua jogger belt around your waist, and go 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes there, and then progress to dry land, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of walking. Okay? Once you're up to 20 minutes of walking, you're going to be ready for your return to run progression. And here's some guidelines that you want to look for in your return to run progression. This is a walk-run interval. Okay? Most people, when they think about getting back into running, they think, oh, you know, I'm going to actually go run 2 to 3 miles 3 or 4 times a week, and they don't understand why when they get out to 6, 7, 8 weeks, they start to have pains that won't go away, that become more consistent. They're starting to become more intense as far as the pain is concerned, and they don't understand why they're so tired and why they're getting colds, flus, or sick, you know, consistently, or dealing with allergies. That's just too much too soon for your body. Here's one of the things to know. Your body tissue, meaning your joints, your cartilage, your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles, your bone, all actually get more dense and more solid to handle the stress that you're putting across it. And so as you allow your body to adapt to that, it becomes more resilient to doing more things. And that's part of that supercompensation or adaptation that occurs, okay? If you push it too fast too soon and you don't have the bone density, the cartilage density, the ligament density, the muscle density, the muscle strength, endurance to be able to handle that, things get too inflamed and things start to break down too quickly. So that's where the injuries start to occur. That's where people go, I'm feeling excessively tired. That's your body saying, I need to rest, I need to recover, I need to just rebuild so I can get ready to do this again. Okay, and they get in this vicious cycle of spiraling downhill, and then all of a sudden they're injured, or they're sick, and they stop training for a while, and then they lose their adaptations, and then they have to start all over again. So that's that vicious cycle of going round and round, okay? So we'll show you why it should take you 5 to 6 weeks to get up to 2 or 3 miles, okay? Not right away. So we're going to let your body slowly adapt. We're going to let that bone density increase, the tendon density and strength increase, the cartilage density increase, and let it just keep mirror imaging our body's adaptation as we go up. And that way, when we get to running consistently, our bones are going to be stronger, our cartilage is going to be stronger, our muscles are going to be stronger, our tendons and ligaments, and we won't have these tendinitises, bursitis, chondromalacias, IT band syndromes, shin splints, Achilles tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, those things that plague most runners out there, runner's knee, you name it, okay? So the first thing to know, first guideline to understand is this is a walk-run interval. We're going to do some walk with some run. And we're going to slowly decrease the walking interval and slowly increase the running interval with this. And when I say run, it's a jog. It's a slow jog. It's probably, somewhere, depending on what your body size and body weight is, it's going to be somewhere between a 9 and 13-minute mile. Okay, it's fairly slow. You're just wanting your body to get into it. Eventually, we'll get to the point where we'll actually increase your pace versus just increasing the duration of or the volume of your actual run. So first guideline, walk-run intervals. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We want to increase the volume or the time here as we're getting you into running, not increase the intensity or pace. The second mistake most people make is they start to increase how much they're running as well as how fast they're running at the same time. You can only do one or the other safely. You can't do both at the same time and expect your body to handle that stress of increasing your volume or time of running and increasing the pace of running. So we're going to do one or the other. Right now we're just going to focus on the volume or the time of run versus the pace or intensity. We'll progress the pace and intensity once we get our volume up where we want it, and then we'll hold volume steady and increase intensity right there. Third guideline, ask yourself the self-assessment questions every single week. You want to be able to answer no to all those questions. Okay, so go through every single week that you finish a certain progression, and you make sure you answer, did I have any trouble finishing this progression? The answer should be no. If you say yes, stay at that progression, okay? Did I have any aches or pains that lasted for more than 2 days? No. If you do, seek help, okay? And stay at that progression, or back up a progression, okay? Am I feeling excessively tired after I do my training or that next morning? If the answer is no, you're ready to go on. If it's yes, you got to back or rest a little bit more, okay, so you can let your body adapt. Some people are going to adapt really fast. Some people are slower. Most people who are on this return to run progression say this is easy, this is simple. I don't feel excessively tired. I don't have any aches or pains. I didn't have any difficulty finishing the progression. It almost seems like a joke. Okay, and so that's what they say. They say, I feel like I'm wasting my time, but when they get into running solidly and they start to get into the 30, 35, 40, 45-minute range and they don't have any pain anymore, they don't feel excessively tired, they're able to actually continue to progress. They're like, wow, I've never been here. It's so much fun, so it works, and we've seen it work for hundreds of people where they've had trouble getting into running and they're able to now move that direction. Okay, so those are your guidelines. Here's an overview of the first half of your return to run progression. This is actually a 10-week progression, being that if you're able to progress at that pace, one progression a week and going up to 10 weeks, okay? Like I said, most people will go out and actually start running 2 or 3 miles right away. You're going to see that it's going to take you at least 5 weeks to get to a 2-mile length. We're not going to do this by miles. We're going to do it by minutes because different people have different paces. I still suggest you run a fairly slow pace and progress your volume before you actually start to progress your intensity and get faster and faster, okay? So all this is done 3 times a week, and this gives you 2 days, 48 hours to actually recover from the progression, which means you should have healed in that 2 days and passed the 2-day rule. If you fail the 2-day rule, then that's not enough recovery for your body, or we're doing too much too soon. So progression 1 is a 4-1, okay? 4 minutes a walk, 1 minute a run or jog, okay? And you're going to do this for 20 minutes. So there's 4 segments in here. You go 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. All right, you get to the end of that week, ask yourself the self-assessment questions. If you answer no to all the self-assessment questions, go to progression 2 or P2 next week. And what you're doing is, instead of a 4-1, you're subtracting a minute of run, or subtracting a minute of walk, adding a minute of run, okay? And you're going to do that for a week. And then you're going to go to 3 or 2-3, 1-4, and then week 5 you're going to be in a solid 5-minute run. So you can see each week we actually subtract a minute of walk and add a minute of run until we're running a solid 20 minutes. Now again, you're still keeping your pace the same. I don't care how good you feel out there, how much of a joke this is, just keep your pace steady and the same the whole time. Don't get eager and start running faster or start running more. The other question we get is, what if after the 20 minutes of walk run, I still feel like I want to do more? No problem. Go for it. Walk. Don't do any more running. Just walk, or get on the bike and cycle, get in a pool, swim, do some elliptical, you name it. Okay? So you can go longer if you want to. Just know that if you get on something else and you do a higher intensity, it means longer recovery time for you. So if you stick with this, we're going to get you into the 30, 40, 45-minute range and get you ready for half marathon distance, full marathon distance, or Olympic distance triathloning, you know, half Ironman type of distance. But progress gently and get your body into it before we actually start to get thinking about doing that 10K, half marathon, full marathon. Here's the second half of your progression, okay? Week 6, you're going to progress at 5-minute intervals each week, okay? So you can go from 20 minutes at week 5 to 25 minutes at week 6, then to 30, and then 35. Once you're up to running 35 minutes 3 times a week, you're able to start adding a long run on the weekend. This is where you can start doing half marathon training. Usually your volume for half marathon training is going to be around 35 minutes 3 times during the week, with a long run on the weekend that progressively goes further and further out, okay? Now, week 9, you can go to 40 minutes. Week 10, you can go to 45 minutes if you want. If you get up to 45 minutes 3 times a week and you're not excessively tired, you're able to finish, you don't have any aches or pains that last for more than 2 days, then you're ready for marathon training. But you can see the mistake most people make with getting into running. They cut off about 5 weeks of training, 5 or 6 weeks of training that should be there to allow your bones, your tendons, your ligaments, your muscles, and everything else to actually increase in strength and density to handle the running. And they just shortcut it and go right there. And they wonder why at 6 or 8 weeks out they actually are having pains that are more consistent, lasting longer, getting more intense, while they're feeling tired, while they're getting sick, etc. So this is answering why they play this vicious circle of get into running, stop. Get into running, stop. And they go, well, maybe running's not good for my body. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a runner. Unless you have something majorly wrong with your body, anybody can actually become a runner, okay? Not an elite runner, but everybody can get into running. Everybody's body's designed to run, okay? So hang on to that, and we'll keep looking at things here. Okay, so that's a volume progression, or that's actually increasing your time on that return to run. It's fairly easy, fairly simple, but somewhere along the way, if you feel like you hit a hitch or hit a wall, back up and let your body adapt. If it's still not adapting, something's still going on, that's when you're going to actually go see your doctor, see somebody to actually give you advice on what to do and how to progress from there.